Now you are a Mumbaiker. The name itself, Kutta Kadam, sounds like you're from Delhi. Delhi se hoon. I don't want to complete that end wala. तो आप मुंबई से दिल्ली वाले कुत्ता कदम मिस्ट्री की जरा मिस्ट्री क्या है ये बताइए.
So actually, Anand, most people, including my dearest friends, know me for my Bharat series, correct? And but along the way, in this journey of the last 15 years, from time to time I deviate into other genres. One of the deviations that happened along the way was crime thrillers. And I ended up writing 2 crime thrillers along with James Patterson. And both of those had a protagonist, which was a guy called Santosh Wagh. And I realized that when I was actually writing about him, people love flawed characters. Where the character is not, where you cannot figure out as to what is going on with this character. That it's not black or white, it's shades of grey. And I wanted to create this sort of a flawed character. So I thought about this when I was researching for my crime thrillers earlier. I had done the rounds of the police stations and had spoken to former cops. I had gone to morgues. I had visited, places which are relevant to the crime beat, as it were. And then I realized, I said, there are those cops who just go down in history because of the fact that they are not really bothered about the rules. And I thought about this character called Kadam. But someone who is so dogged, so completely determined that he is going to get to the bottom of a particular case, that people around him think of him as a sniffer dog. वो sniffer dog होता है ना पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट में, to go and find the clue. So I thought, what if I have a character which is like that? And that is the reason why the people around him then call him Kutta. It's not actually derogatory. It's actually, in some ways, talking about his uncanny ability to be able to sniff out the truth. A little bit like your...
It's got nothing to do with your referencing Delhi in this.
And it's a little bit like your uncanny ability to also reach the truth, but in a different way.
Are you calling me Kutta Ranganath?
The minds of the future, so thought control is what is happening at this stage. So, patriarchy पे किसी को भाषणबाजी देना था, सीधा मतलब they latched onto this BP, Brahmin patriarchy. So one ladki, brilliant girl, independent girl, and gutsy says, why only Brahmin patriarchy? Why aren't we opening it up? I think I got a DM on Instagram from the person. I don't know. Are you the person? Fantastic. So that's the person, right? Fantastic. That's the way to open the conversation. जब तक लड़ाई आपके घर में हो रही है, आप जीतेंगे, तब भी आप हारेंगे. Take the fight to the other side. Now, I will say something that I said in the context of UCC, and I'll say this very openly. मनुस्मृति के बारे में जो भी बात करना चाहता है, तब तक आप बात नहीं करेंगे जब तक ओल्ड टेस्टमेंट की बात नहीं हो रही है, कुरान की बात नहीं हो रही है, क्रिश्चियनिटी की बात नहीं हो रही है, और the old Avesta. Let's talk about all of this. If a person retires from the post of a judge, no more contempt applies, so now I'll speak. So, we were told during the course of arguments in a sensitive matter such as Sabarimala that all the evils traceable in the Indian subcontinent with respect to Jati must be exclusively traced only to Hinduism was said from the bench by a member of the bench. They said this. I was a 32-year-old then. I was awaiting my turn and I wasn't sure if my turn would come, so I said, "Jab mauka aayega baat karenge." So I just kept my mouth shut. The point is this. These statements are being made because everybody knows that the rest of them will be protected by the catch-all defense in this country, secularism, from examination of their books. The day you actually have a comparative conversation on every aspect of treatment, of human treatment by every book, so to speak, we will see where this goes. That conversation hasn't happened. this does not mean that there is nothing for us to look into and introspect. And please understand, there are two parts to it. मुझे अपने घर को बचाना है बाकियों से और अपने घर को ठीक भी करना है. These are two aspects. Now when this conversation happens, I'll tell you, and thanks for raising this issue. Law schools may, these days when people come and talk and they start talking about political science, I know for a fact that they start with jati, straight off. The conversation is jati, the conversation is gender. And that's because you have no response mechanisms. And this is a boxing match where you're being told, take the punch and tie your hands to your back because you don't get to punch back citing their material at all. Because the moment you do that, phobia becomes the next weapon. That's one of the reasons that people, some of us have to take the risk and resort to disruptive interventions to hold the mirror to the other side. When the conversation doesn't go beyond that, then automatically hypocrisy is exposed. And I think one of your neighboring institutions did that fantastically when they cancelled me, right? Brilliant institution, apparently known for celebrating free speech, but I think it's free speech in the Protestant style. So, I was specifically No. Free speech is permissible as long as you're bashing yourself, but not otherwise. That is how it works. This hypocrisy can be called out only by using truth and knowledge and having the vertebracy to speak it, but with a civil tone, staying within the bounds of the law. It's a tightrope walk. You should know how to do it. By definition, every Hindu must become a lawyer when it comes to this. There's no other option.
92. I was here from 89 to 92. So those 3 years I was in fact in Sri Ram College. And let me tell you how things were then. My textbooks at that time were telling me how wonderful Soviet Union was. 5-year plans were absolutely wonderful things. And right in front of me, the Soviet Union was collapsing. Our economy, we were told, literally, I was studying economics, right, in the few rooms down on the other side.
Qualified from IIM Ahmedabad and now Bharat became cool. So you need a degree from IIM Ahmedabad to make the reading and the dissemination of Bharatiya Itihas as an epic school shameful. That is why decolonization is crucial. That's the point. You need someone speaking in Thames River bed crisp cutting English to push your point on Bharatiya Itihasas. अजीब विश्व गुरु है भाई ये तो. ये कैसा गुरु है जो अपने आप से सीखना नहीं चाहता और आप दुनिया को क्या सिखाएंगे? अंग्रेजी में बात करना वो तो ऑलरेडी जानते हैं. आप तो डुप्लीकेट हैं, वो तो असली से सीखेंगे. So decolonization is less about a political battle. It is actually a personal battle at every stage, where every Hindu has to ask himself, what am I exactly? मेरा परिचय क्या है? Not पहचान. परिचय क्या है? Where do I come from? I go there, somebody says I'm a Savarna casteist. Somebody else will say you actually worship a patriarchal misogynistic god. Nowhere is my identity free of charger attacks. Decolonization is not an academic study for Hindu. हिंदू रहना है तो decolonization को अपनाना पड़ेगा under any circumstances. Thank you.
He always does. In fact, that is why after the युद्ध ends and he's on the bed of arrows, और कृष्ण कहते हैं युधिष्ठिर को कि आप अपने पितामह से मिलो, उनसे बात करो. युधिष्ठिर is like, मैं कैसे उनको मुंह दिखाऊं? How do I show him my face? I have been the reason that so much destruction has happened. Anyways, finally he goes. And पता है भीष्म पितामह क्या कहते हैं? Because Krishna tells Bhishma that he is afraid to face you. And Bhishma Pitama says, for a Raja, for a Kshatriya, it doesn't matter who is on the opposing side. If the opponent is adharmi, be it a guru, be it a brother, be it a son, be it a father, it is the responsibility of the Raja to punish him and kill him. You are on the side of dharma. We all have known that. So, at that point also, Bhishma Pitama always knows that dharma is with the side of the Pandavas. तो फिर क्या हुआ? फिर उन्होंने क्यों पांडवों की साइड से नहीं लड़े? That is the question, right? What was his dharma at that point in time? Now let's understand this. When we say dharma sankat, what are we saying? That we all play different roles in life, yeah? And we have a dharma associated to the different entities that we are a part of. Just in our kutumba, we have a putra dharma, putri dharma, pita dharma, mata dharma, all of that. In the organization, we have a sevak dharma, employee dharma, yeah? In the Rashtra, we have a citizen dharma. Ye sara hai. Now, what was the dharma sankat that Arjun was faced with? What was the dharma sankat Arjun was faced with? Kutumba dharma versus Kshatriya dharma itself, right? That was his issue. What is it with Bhishma Pitama? Let's understand this well. Of course, Kutumba dharma, but the other is also his sevak dharma. Okay? Who was he? He was the Senapati of the Kauravas, right? Now think of it from our perspective. हमको यहाँ बैठ के बोलना तो बहुत easy है कि अरे why did he not go on the side of the Pandavas? There was one other character in Itihas who actually went on the other side, the side of dharma. Vibhishan, right? और विभीषण को हम क्या बोलते हैं? घर का भेदी लंका ढाए. To somebody who actually went to the side of dharma, right? उनको हम ऐसे बोलते हैं. भीष्म पितामह को बोलते हैं अरे क्यों धर्म की साइड नहीं गए? आप सोचो. So this should make you understand how difficult solving a dharma sankat is. Coming back to Bhishma Pitama, let's take the example of our army. We have a general in the army. Okay? We have a fight with, say, some other country. Say we are the aggressors for a wrong reason. What would we as citizens of Bharat expect our general to do? Sit and discuss the morality or his dharma towards his Rashtra. For whatever reason the war is fought. What would we expect from our army? Jump on the side of the other side? So you see कैसे चक्र में फंसे हुए थे भीष्मा. अगर वो इस तरफ आते तो आज हम उनको कहते ट्रेटर टू हिज ओन पीपल, राइट? वो उस तरफ है तो वी से डरे धर्म के साइड नहीं गए. So what is right, what is wrong? It's actually a very, very difficult decision. And that is where Krishna comes in. He says, yes, it is difficult. But then, how do you ensure you make the most optimum? Right or wrong is not the prashna. The prashna is what is the most optimum decision at that point in time. And how will you know it? The only way to know it is by becoming extremely objective, not driven by emotions. Bhishma Pitama tries very hard to stop the war. Antatak, in fact, after he has fallen and after 10 days of the war, when Karna comes to him, he says, "Arey, abhi bhi avsar hai, jaane do, don't fight." But Karna says, now it's too late, right? He also tries different ways of ensuring Duryodhan stops the war. He says, "I will not kill the Pandavas." Duryodhan is like, doesn't matter. We are, hum hai na, hum maar denge, aap ladai karo. But even when Bhishma Pitama is fighting, he's fighting to the best of his abilities, right? So that is why understanding what is a dharma sankat and still taking what is the most optimum, which he thought his role required to do, he did. With complete clarity, knowing which side he was fighting for and knowing that this is the side this is going to lose. So that also requires a very deep understanding of dharma, right? Right or wrong, हम बैठ के judge तो कर सकते हैं. But imagine if you are in his shoes, what would you do? Thank you.
Very well decolonizing, and you being the expert on the decolonizing subject, I propose this question to you, sir.
Namaste, thank you for, first of all, the student organizers, Swapanda and Mr. Sanyal, for putting together what I think is truly a literary fest where there is a lot of depth and content. Because at a time when literary festivals are perhaps dime a dozen, and where content takes a backseat and showmanship takes the front seat, I think finally content and depth are coming back, and I think it's very, very important. And for Shriram College to lend itself and the student organizers to have done a fantastic job of coordinating so many people and the hospitality aspects of it, kudos. Job well done according to me. Let me start with an example of what happened today, and then I'll relate it to the point that Mr. Sanyal was making.
Sanjeev, please. Making me sound like a dignitary.
Which you are.
Which you are, sir.
So in the morning, I happened to argue before the Delhi High Court in a pharmaceutical case. I'll give you what example. I'll just explain the case in very brief so that you can understand where this argument is going, the drift of it. I represent a certain pharmaceutical entity which used to manufacture a certain drug. Let's call it, the composition of the drug is C. Under the law, as we have it today, there are mechanisms to control the prices of drugs so that pharmaceutical companies don't extract more than they're supposed to. So year over year, they're allowed a maximum increase of 10% of the price of the drugs, which is called a non-scheduled drug. So what this person does is that he gets an approval for C. The next year what he does is that he changes.
Own right. So let me tell you a little about the Sanyal clan. See, the Sanyals are essentially from an area called Barendra Bhum, which is now mostly in Bangladesh, which is the area very close to where the Ganga and the Brahmaputra meet. So it's a very marshy kind of area, lots of small islands, and that kind of place. And the Sanyals were basically known to be both scholars and rebels. And so during the 16th and 17th century, these guys were guerrillas fighting against the Afghans, fighting against the Turks. In fact, our family deity is called Yavana Mardini Kali. And so one of the things my family was infamous for doing is to catching hold of their whoever they happen to be being guerrillas against and basically decapitating them as something as often.
Yes, I was also studying, and as part of my education, when I was in my third year, I also had an experience which created some transformation in the way I would think, and my narratives changed. So one of my friends, he tried to commit suicide, and you know, mental health is a big challenge, big issue. So many people are becoming hopeless. But when he tried to commit suicide and we approached him and asked him, why did you try to commit suicide? He said that in every exam I would get the gold medal, but in this exam I got the silver medal. And I could not handle it. So we looked at him and said, what? People are dying to get into IIT and you are inside IIT trying to die. Doesn't make sense. But it was a fact for him because we all create world of our own within our mind. That day Bhima retired from CE. So one of my friends visited a conference, and when he visited the conference he was given a card. The card had the name of this person, and below the card was written educational qualification, and it said PhD BF. तो बोले यार ये क्या है PhD BF? So he said this means PhD but fail. बोले यार ऐसा अजीब तो अपन ने देखा ही नहीं. ये क्या? बोले नहीं. I never wanted to be PhD. My father wanted me to be PhD. Why? Because two of my other cousins are PhD. And therefore, I tried, but ultimately I realized I am not meant to be PhD. I dropped out. And then they said you must attend conferences. So to be honest, मैंने कार्ड बनवाया जिसमें आगे BF डाल दिया. लेकिन पता है क्या? सबको लगता है ये BF PhD के आगे का डिग्री. So many times we are forced to make decisions out of compulsion of social pressure. Not because I want to do it, they want me to do it, they want me to do it, they want me to do it. Can I get some focus on what I can potentially
doing all of this, and why were the Sanyals, who are Bengali by the way, what were they doing in Varanasi? So the reason
these are people that we've written that I've written about, who have met 10-15 times, who've attended IIM at least 6-7 times, publicly been with them, privately spoken to them, yet they choose to talk to me, which is why I wonder what's wrong with them. But in all seriousness, whether it is Sar Sangachalakji of the RSS, and I have written in the book that I am unabashedly unashamed of saying that the RSS, that is the Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh, has had an impact on this RSS, that is Rishabh Sanjay Shah. And so also Mr. Gandhi. Now people say that how can you say that Rahul Gandhi में भी कुछ अच्छा है और मैंने राहुल गांधी जी का नाम लिया 5 people started laughing. राहुल गांधी जी भी अच्छे हैं और मोहन भागवत जी भी अच्छे हैं. How can you? What is the similarity? What can you learn? So Sahib, to answer your question, I think that Sanskrit shlok which I said in the beginning, in the end of the last session, which is what I would like to start with. Amantram aksharam nasti, nasti mulamanuksham, ayogya purusho nasti, yojakas tatra dullabha. Gauranga ji is sitting in front of me, so I will not translate it. Because
Just tell the meaning.
I will just tell the meaning. It basically means that one can learn from everyone. However good or bad that person is, however mean or not so mean that person is, whether the person is the devil or the devil's advocate, one can learn from everybody. And I personally believe that, and this is something that we've documented in the book also, and I believe that all of these people have that one trait, which is that they'll all teach you something. It is upon the person how much they can absorb.
में लॉन्च कर रहे थे सलमान, शत्रु जी ने कहा कि अगर इस समय आप सलमान का शो कर दोगे तो और थोड़ी देर सोनाक्षी को दिखा दोगे तो बड़ा बूस्ट मिलेगा, बेटी की मदद हो जाएगी. शत्रु जी को मैं बहुत प्यार करता हूँ, बहुत अच्छे दोस्त हैं, बहुत अच्छे इंसान हैं. सलमान की भी बहुत दोस्त हैं. तो मैंने कहा शत्रु जी मैं शो कर दूंगा, लेकिन सलमान आएगा कि नहीं आएगा मुझे इसमें डाउट है. आएगा तो मैं ये कह सकता हूँ आई विल बी फेयर टू. जो पुरानी हमारी टकरार है इसको मैं छोड़ दूंगा. शो में कोई ऐसा नहीं होगा, उसको अपनी बात कहने का मौका मिलेगा. लेकिन सोनाक्षी को 2-4-5 मिनट से ज्यादा नहीं दिखा सकते, तो शी इज न्यू कमर. तो उन्होंने कहा नहीं उतना भी बहुत है, अगर इतना भी आपके अदालत में दिख जाए तो उसको मदद करिए. डेट तय हो गई, टाइम तय हो गया, सलमान खान आ गए. मेरे ऑफिस में सोनाक्षी, शत्रु जी और ऋतु जी ये लोग बैठे हुए थे. सलमान ऐसे खड़े. तो मैंने कहा बैठिए. बैठना क्या है सर. तो मैंने कहा कि नहीं प्रोग्राम डिस्कस कर लेते हैं. डिस्कस क्या कर. मैंने कहा कोई ऐसी चीज हो जो आप चाहते हो मैं आपसे ना पूछूं. कुछ भी पूछो सर. और वो इधर देख रहे तो उधर देख. तो मुझे लगा ऐसे हॉस्टाइल एटमॉस्फेयर कैसे शो होगा. और कुछ नहीं बोल रहे थे वो. फिर मैं ऋतु जी को अलग किनारे पे ले गया. मैंने कहा मैं तो इसके साथ शो नहीं कर सकता हूँ, क्योंकि जब वो जवाब नहीं देगा सीधे मुंह. तो शी सेड कि अब वो आए हैं. आफ्टर ऑल दिस हॉस्टिलिटी ही हैज कम हियर, यू कांट से नो टू. लेट्स ट्राई इट आउट, देखते हैं. फिर उन्होंने कहा ऐसा करो कि, तो मैंने कहा अगर वहाँ ऑन एयर जब शो रिकॉर्डिंग हो रही है अगर इसने कुछ बदतमीजी की, झगड़ा होगा, अच्छा नहीं लगता. आई डोंट डू ए शो लाइक दिस, इट्स अ फ्रेंडली शो. तो शी सेड तुम मुझे बता रहे हो तुम्हारा शो कैसा है. एंड शी सेड ऐसा करो शत्रु जी को इसमें जज बना दो, उनकी ये बहुत रेस्पेक्ट करता है तो कुछ कहेगा. शत्रु जी को कहा हाँ रेडी हम तैयार हैं. शत्रु जी जज, सलमान खान एंटर करते हैं और कट घर में फिर खड़े हुए. तो मैंने कहा बैठिए. मैं तो हर कोर्ट में खड़ा रहता हूँ. अब हमारे कैमरा एंगल्स नहीं बनते, बैठेंगे नहीं तो शो कैसे करेंगे. तो मैंने कहा कि आप बैठेंगे तो शुरू करेंगे, मैं खड़ा ही ठीक हो. तो मैंने जज साहब ने कहा जज साहब मुझसे से कहिए कि वो अपनी जगह बैठे. तो शत्रु जी ने कहा खामोश, उसने वो अपनी जगह पर बैठे. तो उसने शत्रु जी ऐसे देखा तो ही सेट डाउन. फिर कहता है ये आपका कटघरा कुछ ज्यादा ही कंफर्टेबल है सर, मुझे ऐसे कंफर्ट की आदत नहीं है. खैर धीरे धीरे शो शुरू हुआ. मैंने उनसे बात करनी शुरू की. ये कोई भगवान की कृपा होगी उन्होंने मेरे सवालों के सीधे सीधे जवाब देने शुरू कर दिए। पहली बार उन्होंने अपने ब्लैकबक के केस के बारे में डिटेल में बात की, फिर उनका जो एक्सीडेंट हुआ था उस केस के बारे में उन्होंने बात की। जब मुझे लगा इतनी बात कर रहे हैं तो मैंने ऐश्वर्या के बारे में भी पूछ लिया। और बुरा नहीं माना, उन्होंने उसका भी जवाब दिया। फिर मैंने उससे आप लगे यार कटरीना की भी बात कर लेते हैं। And he talked about everything. फिर थोड़ी देर उनको लगा कि ये कुछ मैं ज्यादा ही बात कर रहा हूँ। फिर उन्होंने कहा कि सर आप मेरी बहुत क्लास ले रहे हैं। तो मैंने कहा नहीं मैं क्लास नहीं ले रहा, मैं तो आपसे एक दोस्ती के लिहाज से चल गया। नहीं सर अब मैंने कहा आप मेरे से कुछ पूछना चाहते हैं, आप पूछिए, कुछ भी पूछना चाहे सर। वो वहां से उठे और मेरे बराबर आके खड़े हो गए और मुझे कहा सर ये बटन खोलो। तो क्योंकि खड़े रहते हैं जैकेट का बटन बंद रहता है, तो बैठो सर, बैठ गए सर, पुशअप पोजीशन में आ जाओ। और फिर पुशअप लगाने लगे, चलिए सर हो जाए। तो 1 2 3 4 उनको लगता था 5-6 के बाद में मैं गिर जाऊंगा। जब हम 15-16 तक पहुंच गए तो फिर उन्होंने रुके, मुझे देखा ट्राई करो सर, और फिर खड़े हुए हम लोग, फिर बैठे एंड देन वी स्टार्टेड वी कंक्लूडेड द शो वेरी नाइस। अब दैट शो बिकेम, उस समय मोदी जी का शो नहीं हुआ था, इट वाज द मोस्ट वॉच शो एवर। क्योंकि पहली बार लोगों ने सलमान को सवालों के सीधे सीधे जवाब देते हुए देखा था। अब मेरे मन में ये बड़ा सवाल था कि जब ये शो टेलीकास्ट हो गया, करोड़ों लोगों ने इसको देखा, उसके इतने अच्छे रिएक्शंस आए, what could be Salman's reaction to this? What is he thinking? कोई जरिया नहीं था क्योंकि हमारा तुमसे कोई कांटेक्ट नहीं था बात करने का। शत्रुघ्न जी को मैंने पूछा, शत्रुघ्न ने कहा यार तुमने 5 मिनट सोनाक्षी गुजराती में उसमें पूछा। आमिर खान के नेफ्यू इमरान की शादी का रिसेप्शन था, तो वहां मैं अनिल कपूर और इन दोनों के साथ खड़ा था। तो मैंने देखा कि सलमान मेरी तरफ आ रहे। तो मैंने ऋतु जी को कहा यार मैं इसको यहाँ नहीं मिलना चाहता, पब्लिकली पता नहीं क्या कह रही है, तो मैं कट लेता हूँ। तो मैं दूसरी तरफ चला गया जहां पर शाहरुख, जैकी श्रॉफ के लोग खड़े थे, इनसे बात कर। थोड़ी देर में मैंने देखा ये उस तरफ आ रहे। तो मैंने ऋतु जी कहा यार इस पार्टी से ही निकल लेते हैं। तो इतनी देर में आमिर आ गए। आमिर ने कहा सर जाना नहीं है सर, ये अभी हम एक फोटो सेशन होना है, ये वो। फिर मैंने देखा सलमान बिल्कुल करीब पहुंच गए। तो ऋतु जी ने कहा कोई बात नहीं मैं देखती। शी वेंट अप टू हिम एंड शी सेड हेलो सलमान। अब मुझे मालूम नहीं इन दोनों बीच में क्या बात हो रही, काफी देर तक बात होती रही। देन ऋतु जी केम अप टू मी, शी सेड नो ही इज नॉट, ही इज वेरी हैप्पी विद यू एंड ही जस्ट वांट टू से थैंक यू टू यू। मैंने कहा सलमान अपने बाप को थैंक यू ना कहे मुझे, क्या बात है। और उनका जो मुंह है वो मेरे कान के पास था ऐसे, एंड ही रियली हग मी टाइट एंड ही जस्ट kept saying sir sir, nothing else he said. Then he released me, looked into my eye, he said sir कमाल कर दिया सर कमाल कर दिया। This is how
commonalities in terms of their family-centric, we're family-centric, very arguable. What would you say, sir?
Well, I'll try and answer that, but I think that is a question best addressed by Ambassador Sybil. In my view, and I've written it in wartime, that the next big war in the world, I won't call it Third World War, but the next big war in the world would be between India and China. It will start between India and China. So I think we need to know more about China. And we do not know much about China. Our colleagues, diplomatic colleagues, have written books which are excellent, but still, it is a puzzle. I won't repeat what Churchill said about Russia, enigma and so on, but China is the greatest mystery going around in the world because it is not an open society. It is a closed society. So we just make a guess every day that she is a dictator, that she has lost control, that she has enemies, that economy is not doing well. Yet the fact is that this is the second largest economy in the world. And the fact is that the patents issued last year in the world, China had double the amount of patents that USA had. So obviously they are doing something right. There may be some things which are very wrong, starting with the building industry and so on. But something is going the China way, and that should worry us because China wants only one country at the top, starting in, for example, in Asia, then worldwide. And if India wants also to be around the summit, it does not please China. Second, China feels that a new order has to be established in the world. It's not happy with the American order. And that again both puzzles us and perplexes us because we don't feel comfortable with an order imposed by an authoritarian state. So China needs to be watched much more closely, much more intensely by us as Indians because more than a Maldives is an irritant, but more than a Maldives, China is going to be the block in our rights.
Sir, as somebody involved in research,
Asked him, what is your greatest wish in life? When you become minister, Deputy Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, now what is your greatest wish in life? He said, I want 2 atom bombs. One I drop on Bombay and that day, and one in Delhi. So when you have a mentality like that, how do you develop a relationship? So your unanswered question as to why don't we have a dialogue with them, we cannot have a dialogue of the deaf or a dialogue with the people who are not very sure of why they are there.
इस लाल हकीकत की खनक खनक पे तलवारों की रणगान बनाया है और खोद कर नाखून से गुलाम धरा को हमने बलिदानों की बुनियाद पे हिंदुस्तान बनाया है। खोद कर नाखून से गुलाम धरा को हमने बलिदानों की बुनियाद पे हिंदुस्तान बनाया है। और ये हिंदुस्तान ऐसे ही नहीं बना। आपको सोचना होगा और समझना होगा कि आखिर क्या बात है कि पिछले 900 वर्षों में शक, हूर, तुर्क, तातार, कुषाण, यवन, चंगेज, पठान, मंगोल, मुगल, डच, फ्रांसीसी, पुर्तगाली, अंग्रेज आए और चले गए, हिंदुस्तान अभी भी जिंदा है। वो कारण मैं आपको बता रहा हूं। और 22 जनवरी परसों का दिन अपने जहन में रखिए, अपने हृदय में रखिए और मुझे आरंभ कर दीजिएगा। अगले 10 मिनट केवल आप और मैं, हमारे बीच में कोई बाधाएं नहीं। वेद लिखे, पुराण लिखे, शांति का पैगाम लिखा है। अक्षरधाम का अर्थ समझिए, अक्षर को ही धाम लिखा है। मैं आपको कारण बता रहा हूं। अक्षरधाम का अर्थ समझिए, अक्षर को ही धाम लिखा है। और ऋषियों के जब नाम लिखे तो पहले अब्दुल कलाम लिखा है और पत्थर भी वो तैर गया, हमने जिस पर राम लिखा है। आपके लिखे हुए पत्थर आपने तैराए हैं। और विनोद रस्तोगी कहीं लिखते हैं कि जब लंका की तरफ पुल का निर्माण हो रहा था तो पत्थरों पर राम लिखा जाता था, पत्थर तैर जाते थे। ये बात जब लंका में पता चली तो रावण की जनता भी उसके पास गई और बोली कि सुना है बहुत मायावी राजा आया है, उसके नाम के तो पत्थर भी तैरते हैं, आप भी पत्थर तैरा कर दिखाओ। रावण समंदर के तट पर गया, उसने पत्थर पर रावण लिखा, उसे पानी में छोड़ा और पत्थर तैरा। जब रावण घर पहुंचा तो उसकी पत्नी ने उससे पूछ लिया कि स्वामी मैं जानती हूं आपको पत्थर तैराना तो नहीं आता, वो पत्थर तैरा तो तैरा कैसे? इस पर रावण ने जो जवाब दिया वो अयोध्या में परसों की नींव बनेगा। रावण ने कहा, प्रिय मैं भी जानता हूं मुझे पत्थर तैराना नहीं आता, मैंने तो पत्थर पर रावण लिखा, उसे पानी में छोड़ा और धीरे से कह दिया तुझे राम की कसम जो डूबा पत्थर तैर गया। ये राम का चरित्र है। परंतु कहा जाता है कि ये बात राम जी की भी सेना को मालूम चली, तो सेना ने कहा कि भगवान उधर तो रावण ने आपके नाम के पत्थर तैरा दिए, अब आप अपने नाम के पत्थर तैरा कर दिखाइए। राम ने पत्थर पर राम लिखा, उसे समंदर में छोड़ा और पत्थर डूब गया। जनता और सेना दोनों उनसे पूछ पड़ी कि भगवान आपके स्वयं के लिखे हुए पत्थर डूब जा रहे हैं और रावण के पत्थर तैर जा रहे हैं। राम सोचते रहे और जामवंत से पूछा कि आखिर ऐसा क्यों हुआ? तो जामवंत ने कहा कि प्रभु जिसको आपने छोड़ दिया उसे तार कौन सकता है। मैंने ये भूमिका इसलिए बनाई क्योंकि हमारे मुल्क की एक परंपरा है, हम हिंदू मुसलमान सिख ईसाई मिलकर एक देश बनाते हैं और हमारे मुसलमान भाइयों का प्रतिनिधित्व करते हुए भी इसी देश में कहा गया कि है राम के वजूद पर हिंदुस्तान को नाज, अहले नजर समझते हैं उनको इमाम हिंद। उसके बावजूद अगर आज संभल से कोई बदतमीज सांसद ये कह दे कि हमें राम के मंदिर के निर्माण के दिन शोक मनाना चाहिए, तो मेरा तेवर क्या होता है और देश का तेवर क्या होता है, मैं यहां से अपनी बात शुरू कर रहा हूं कि सांप जब तक आस्तीनों के न मारे जाएंगे, हैदराबाद से लेकर संभल याद कर लीजिएगा, सांप जब तक आस्तीनों के न मारे जाएंगे, हौसला कितना भी हो हम जंग हारे जाएंगे और दुश्मनों के संग तो हम फिर करेंगे फैसले, पहले घर के जाहिलों के सर उतारे जाएंगे, पहले घर के जाहिलों के सर उतारे जाएंगे।
रियली गॉट इमोशनल। और फिर वो कटघरे में कुर्सी पर बैठे तो मैंने कहा देखिए मोदी जी आजकल मेरे पास में मोबाइल पर मैसेज आता है राहुल खाए चॉकलेट बार अब की बार मोदी सरकार। मैंने कहा एक मुझे किसने मैसेज भेजा है, सोनिया बोली मनमोहन से अब तो बोलो यार सरदार, वो बोले अब की बार मोदी सरकार। तो ये सुन के वो हंसे और फिर अचानक देखा कि उन्होंने ऑडियंस देखा भाई ये मैं तो नहीं बनाता आप लोग बनाते हैं, ये आवाज उनकी ठीक से निकली और उसके बाद 1.5 hour non-stop we recorded the show with him. He could speak and this is all this is. और ये बड़ा चैलेंजिंग था। जब वो खत्म हुआ फिर मैंने उनसे पूछा, मैंने कहा कि कैसे आपकी आवाज आ गई जब वो गाड़ी में बैठने लगे? तो उन्होंने कहा कि पंडित जी देवी कृपा आप पर भी है मुझ पर भी है इसलिए ये शो। एंड एक्चुअली आफ्टर दैट आई स्टार्टेड बिलीविंग उनके ऊपर भगवान की कृपा है इसीलिए वो ये सब कर पाते हैं। हिस्ट्री में 30 साल के इतिहास में उतनी ज्यादा व्यूअरशिप किसी शो को नहीं मिली और आज भी हम उसको कभी रिपीट करते हैं तो इट बिकम नंबर 1 शो।